Chris, what is our fifth main topic today?
This one comes from Lucas Kambites. Hey, John and crew, I read a quote from Sam Raimi today where he was doing an interview for Fandango. They asked him if there were any possibility he would ever make another Spider-Man movie starring Tobey Maguire, to which he responded in a surprisingly optimistic way. He said that after working on Doctor Strange, he realized that the possibilities at Marvel are endless. And although he doesn't know if Sony Marvel wants another Spider-Man movie from him, nor does he have a story or script, he would love to do it given the opportunity and bring back Tobey and Kirsten Dunst. Do you think it's likely Spider-Man 4 from Sam Raimi could happen? And if so, could you be excited about it?
All right, thanks a lot for writing that in, man. Appreciate that. Okay, look. How do you put something like this? So I saw this created a lot of headlines with a lot of people, but this is one of those situations where I get it. I get the excitement. Because quite often, people will run with headlines that are like, somebody asks an actor, hey, would you ever like to be in a Star Wars movie? Oh, sure. What actor's going to say no? But then headlines, blah, 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 wants to do a Star Wars movie. Yeah, that doesn't mean anything. But this is a little bit different. So Sam Raimi, who of course has Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness coming out, which I'm so excited about. Sam Raimi, who has made one of the greatest comic book movies of all time in Spider-Man 2. And certainly the shepherd of a franchise that kind of helped lead the way into the golden age of comic book movies with his Spider-Man franchise. Spider-Man 3 notwithstanding. But Sam Raimi. And of course we had Tobey Maguire just popped up in Spider-Man No Way Home. So Sam Raimi was directly asked, could you and Tobey Maguire make a Spider-Man 4? Because with the multiverse stuff and with the success of No Way Home, as Rob has said during this, dude, it made over $1.5 billion. Everything's on the table, right? He's not wrong about that. What was an impossibility suddenly becomes plausible. Could we see that happen? Well, Sam Raimi was asked directly about that, and he gave what I thought was a pretty interesting answer. He said the following. This comes to us from the folks at Coming Soon who write this. I've come to realize that after making Doctor Strange, that anything is possible. Really anything in the Marvel Universe, any team-ups, said Raimi in an interview with Fandango. I love Tobey. I love Kirsten Dunst. I think all things are possible. I don't really have a story or a plan. I don't know if Marvel would be interested in that right now. I don't know what their thoughts are about that. I haven't really pursued that, but it sounds beautiful, the idea of doing another Spider-Man with Tobey Maguire. Even if it wasn't a Spider-Man movie, I'd love to work with Tobey again in a different role. So either way, whether it was Spider-Man or not. So basically asked, would you make another Spider-Man with Tobey? He said, man, that idea sounds beautiful to me. That sounds beautiful to me. All right. The big question, though, is it's great to say that. Could that actually happen? Now, I think Sam Raimi did a very good job here covering his bases. Look, let's be clear. Ain't nobody talked to me about this. I have no idea what their plans are. I have no idea. I got nothing. But if you're asking me straight up, do I like that idea? I think it sounds beautiful. I'd work for Tobey in a heartbeat. Hell, even if it wasn't a Spider-Man movie, I'll work with Tobey Maguire again. But could it happen? All right. Let me say this first. He's right when he says anything is possible. And I mean, anything is possible, right? I mean, with this happening, we live in a world where Jamie Foxx came back to play Electro. Something I would have bet the farm on would never happen again a couple of years ago, and yet here we are. Anything can happen. But there is a difference. We talk about this on the show a lot. There's a difference between possibility and probability. There's a big difference between possibility and probability.
But we're dealing with Sony here. We're dealing with Sony right now here. I don't even think they know what they're doing right now.
We'll see. I mean, Morbius doesn't elicit a whole ton of confidence, does it? But, so is it possible? We've already established. Yes. Okay. Is it probable? No. No, it's not probable. And quite frankly, I loved seeing Tobey Maguire pop back up. It gave me that great nostalgia rush. It felt like finally getting proper closure to something that was kind of left dangling. Because remember, after Spider-Man 3, they were mere weeks away from getting things rolling on Spider-Man 4, which I believe John Malkovich was going to play Vulture in that, if I'm not mistaken.
What?
I think it was John
that
Malkovich.
would have been great.
Was going to play Vulture in a part 4. They were ready to roll. The plug got pulled and everything kind of felt unfinished. So having Tobey pop up in that movie felt really good, better than I thought it would. Like, even just for me personally, it's just like, wow, this feels good. Got him back, gave him a send-off, done. But the Tobey Maguire era, and I think Tobey Maguire will be the first person to say this, the time for the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man is past. We have moved on. We have moved on several generations. To the Andrew Garfield Spider-Man, who happens to be my favorite Spider-Man of all time, to the Tom Holland Spider-Man. We now got the animated Miles Morales Spider-Man. We got Madam Web coming. We got, look, we have moved on several generations. It's time. Tobey Maguire's turning 47 years old. He did great in No Way Home. He did great. But I think we just need to enjoy that and accept it for what it was. It was the swan song. The swan song so many of us have been wanting to see for a long time. So, is it possible? I'd be a fool to say it's not possible. Of course it's possible. But is it probable? No. I wouldn't expect to see this happen at all, nor should it. I think this was the terrific send-off for him and that character. It gave us the closing that we wanted for so long. And now it's time to move on. We've got a terrific Spider-Man in action right now in Tom Holland. We got a terrific animated version of Spider-Man right now with Miles Morales. We've got a lot of great things going on with Spider-Man. We need to focus on those things. So possibility, yes. Probability, no. Chris, you heard the words from Sam Raimi, which I thought was a terrific response. Mm-hmm. But what do you think? Could we see another, not just Tobey Maguire pop up as a cameo, but a Tobey Maguire Spider-Man movie? Do you think that's something that could actually happen?
No. I mean, I know, and Kirsten Dunst has done the put me back in, coach, but it's that same thing, right? Of, yeah, actors, we want to work. We want to work in these big budget universes too. And if we have a good script, of course we want to be there. But I really don't see Tobey coming back to do his own Spider-Man film. Maybe he could be guiding a Miles Morales. Maybe we could have that kind of film with him, but I don't think he would be the Spider-Man that we'd be following. I just don't see it happening. As much as I enjoyed those original films, gosh, that second one is incredible. And I think it really set the stage for comic book movies as we know and love them today. But try as Sam might, I really don't think this one's going to happen in the way that we all would think, oh yeah, Spider-Man 4, just moving on ahead as scheduled. There was just a delay. Don't think it's going to be there.
You know, and I've said for a long time, look, I love Homecoming. Mm-hmm. I love Far From Home. I really enjoyed No Way Home. Disney has yet to make a Spider-Man movie as good as Spider-Man 2. That's still that and Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse are the two best Spider-Man movies. So you gotta understand, this isn't just me being a Marvel homeboy saying that. It's I think I think Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man movie is better than any Spider-Man movie Marvel's made. It's just that was its era. Mm-hmm. Look, Wayne Gretzky's the greatest hockey player of all time. Not my favorite hockey player of all time, but he's the greatest hockey player of all time. Do I want to see him suit up for the Toronto Maple Leafs today? No. It's his era was then. This is a new era. Ray, let me ask you this.
Yes, I would like Wayne Gretzky to play for the to play for the Lakers right now.
To play anybody for the Lakers. But seriously, do you? Let me ask you.
There's no chance. There's no chance.
Would you want to see it?
No. I you know what? But Sam Raimi, I would like to keep around, but I have to see Doctor Strange. In the Multiverse of Madness first, because I think he could actually another Marvel character could actually benefit from his style of movies, his vision. I don't know which one, but I would like to see him direct another Marvel thing. I meant, or maybe even take on a new character, just because he has that little horror aspect to his directing style where I'm like, there could be a character that's out there that he could really actually be behind. And do.
I guess now, look, I get it. I see the comments already. Like, the thing is, like, my opinion on this is not the popular opinion, but that's the thing. The popular opinion is often the wrong opinion. And I am not just somebody who goes along with what the fans want to hear. You know, I say all the time on this show, my job is not to say what you want to hear. And my job is not to convince you to agree with me. My job is simply to give you what my perspective of it is, what my opinion of it is, in its most authentic and honest form, and to give it in such a way that it helps you more firmly establish why you agree with me or help you further establish why you disagree with me. And that's great, but I am never going to be the type of, like a lot of other YouTubers, I'm never going to be that YouTuber that says, what's the popular thing right now? Okay, say what everybody wants to hear. I'm never going to do that. I'm going to say what I actually think.
Yeah.
So anyway, right.
Do we even know what Tobey Maguire's last movie was before No Way Home? And even Kirsten Dunst, what was her last movie before No Way
Kirsten
Home?
Dunst did
Power
a
of the
lot of
Dog.
work. What's
Oh,
that?
she-
What? Oh, like
Yeah, what-
before that? I was like, this year? She's done so much.
Oh, I just haven't. Maybe
She's in
I
Year
just
of the
been out
Dog.
of-
She's done
Oh,
okay.
okay.
Stuff like that.
Interview with the Vampire was one of her first movies she ever did. She's had a very long career.
Yeah, and she's done a lot of stuff with post Spider-Man and everything.
Yeah.
So
Toby
they're
not
fine.
as much.
Yeah.
It's like he just decided, and he
Yeah,
kind of stepped away
he's
from a lot
over
of
it.
Like, remember, he had to be convinced. Tobey Maguire had to be convinced to come back for Spider-Man No Way
Yeah.
Home. And it took a literal lunch with Kevin Feige and Amy Pascal. They had to pull out the big guns. They didn't just send some junior rep from the thing. Hey, can you go deliver this message to Tobey Maguire that we want him to be in a movie? He got imagine being so important that you get a message from Kevin Feige saying, can you please come have lunch with me? Like Kevin Feige and Amy Pascal asking
You're paying though, Toby.
Yeah. Can you bring your
I
wallet?
don't got much right now, but can you pay?
They had to basically, he sat down with the top dogs and they had to convince him. They had to convince him to come back. So I don't even know that he's got any fire to want to come back or something like this.
Those Spider-Man movies must have taken a lot out of him. Maybe giving him a
had
new
to.
perspective of life and,
Well, the
don't
things he's delivered since then too, because he's done some movies, he did Great Gatsby, and then he did that fantastic one where he was Jake Gyllenhaal's brother.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, he's delivered some real powerhouse performances. I feel like he's just gotten very choosy, and why wouldn't you be?
yeah.
And also, dare I say, content.
Yeah,
It's kind of like Jim Carrey a little bit. He just seems like,
I've done enough.
like I'm Spider-Man forever. I mean, I got all the money I'm ever going to need. I'm happy.
It was such a joy seeing him on screen again, like
It was.
in Spider-Man. He looks healthy. He looks happy. I mean, sometimes when people come back, you could tell what kind of life they've been living since something. But
He
yeah,
just
looks
did
good.
look like a cool youth pastor.
He did look like the cool youth pastor. All right, guys, question is for you. What do you think about this? Sam Raimi says, hey, it's a beautiful idea for me to do another Spider-Man with Tobey and Kirsten and stuff like that. And I think a lot of people, they'd fangasm over it. But honestly, do you think it's something that they'd really do? And do you think it's something that would actually work today? And doesn't even make sense even within the universe, a multiversal universe of stuff that they're doing now. I'm not convinced it is, but maybe you are. Whatever you guys think about that, jump on down to the comment section below and let us know your thoughts. We want to take a moment and thank the sponsor of this video, Coinbase. Have you found yourself curious about getting involved in cryptocurrency, but if you're like a couple of friends of mine who have been really interested in it, they felt kind of overwhelmed by it, like not even knowing how to get started? Well, that's where Coinbase comes in because they make learning to buy and sell crypto simple. Coinbase offers a trusted and easy-to-use platform to buy, sell, and spend cryptocurrency. They support the most popular digital currencies on the market and make them accessible to everyone. They offer portfolio management and protection, learning resources, and a mobile app so you can trade securely and monitor your crypto all in one place. And that's why millions of people all over the world in 100 different countries trust Coinbase with their digital assets. So whether you're looking to diversify, just getting started, or searching for a better way to access crypto markets, start today with Coinbase. And for a limited time, new users can get $10 in free Bitcoin when you sign up today at coinbase.com/Campea. Sign up at coinbase.com/Campea for $10 in free Bitcoin. This offer is for a limited time only, so be sure to sign up today. That's coinbase.com/Campea. And a special thank you to the folks at Coinbase for sponsoring this episode of the John Campea Show.